Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Embassy of India in Dublin and the Ambassador of India, His Excellency Nilesh Mishraji, I welcome everyone. Those who are joined on physical today and also those who are joined by online for the event on Ayurveda. It's a roundtable discussion over Ayurveda. In the recently concluded G20 summit, all the member states unanimously adopted the G20 declaration, which recognized and acknowledged the potential of evidence-based traditional medicine practices in public health delivery systems. The declaration emphasized on One Health approach while addressing various health aspects, including nutrition. In alignment with the cognizance of G20 on traditional medicines and the theme of India's G20 presidency, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, the focal theme of Ayurveda Day 2023, has been decided as Ayurveda for One Health, with tagline Ayurveda for everyone on every day. That is, Har Din, Har Kisi Ke Liye Ayurveda, focusing on human, animal, plant, environment interface. The notion of One Health is not new. It refers to the ancient times when Acharya Charaka had proclaimed the phenomena of universe-individual continuum, that is, universe within oneself and individual within the universe, and the influence it has on balancing the people-planet ecosystem. Ayurveda is not just the traditional system of medicine, it is a way of life which addresses well-being of non-living things like environment, rivers, soils, weather, etc. As well, all living beings, including human, animals, aquatic life, and plants. So, with this background now, today we are here to have a roundtable discussion over Ayurveda, and for the ease of discussion today, we have divided our discussion as 3 rounds. The first round, we will have the basics of Ayurveda for laymen like us, like me, so you can tell us the basics, fundamentals, and those who have already got benefited, they can also share how you got benefited through Ayurveda. This is the first round. Anybody can participate in this round. Second round, we will discuss Ayurveda in the Indian context. How Ayurveda, India got benefited through Ayurveda, and what is the scope still for promoting it in India, our own things. And third, Ayurveda in outside India, especially now in the Ireland context, since we are here. So what is the scope for Ayurveda to get promoted here in this Irish ecosystem? And these are the 3 rounds. So basically, first, Ambassador will give the introductory remarks, and also at the end of the discussion, Ambassador will give concluding remarks, so that we will also take action points from Ambassador's with Ambassador's guidance. With that, Embassy may act something, which are all the agreed or common points which is identified as the way forward from this discussion. And now, may I request on all of us, on behalf of all of us, His Excellency Ambassador to give his introductory remarks.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Emma, for organizing this event. I'm very happy to see my very dear friend and real experts in healthcare attending this program. In fact, I knew that I'm going to meet the real experts, so I thought I must also do some homework, and I actually read Charak Samhita, part of it. And I'm happy to share my very initial thoughts on what I have learned. The very beginning of Charak Samhita talks about, as Raj mentioned, about one world, one health. So, Charak Samhita to me is a holistic, integrated, comprehensive view of not only the life, but not only the nature, but the life itself. Not a way of life, but a comprehensive way of looking at life. And it begins by saying that Nahi Jnana Vayavena Kritsne Geye Jnanam Utpadyate. This means that understanding of the full nature of something cannot be had by a fragmented knowledge of it. If you have a very parochial, very fragmented, segmented view of some object, you cannot have the full understanding of it. So the foundational value of Ayurveda is holistic. The definition of life, how does it define life? Again, it's very fascinating. Sharirendriya Sattva Atma Sanyogo Dhari Jivanam Nityagaschanubanधश्च Paryayai Ayuruchyate. The life is harmonious combination, unity of Sharir, body, Indri, our senses, Man, Atma, all four combined together, they create life. That is life. And the life has a Nityaga, it's in motion, it's dissipating every moment. Anubandhascha, it's connected with our breath, pran. Chakar, Chetana. And life is also associated with consciousness. If that any of these elements are missing, then it's not life. And when we talk about Ayu, then we don't talk about Ayu of the plant, because Ayu does not have mind. It has other elements, but it does not have mind. What is the importance of life? What is the importance of Ayu? Dharmartha kama mokshanam arogyam moolamuttamam. This life is important because that is what enables one to pursue dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Everything is rooted in our arogya, our wellness. That is why the objective of Ayurveda is swasthasya swasthya rakshanam aturasya vikar shamanam cha. To someone who is healthy, to make sure that he remains healthy, he or she remains healthy. Aturasya vikar shamanam. If somebody has some ailment, then it should be rectified. And how does a disease come into a body? Again, it's a harmonious balance which is good health. Vikaro dhatu vaishamyam samyam prakriti ruchyate. There are many constituents which make our body. If there is a harmony, then it's a good health. If there is a disharmony, then it's a sickness, disease. Shariram sattva sangyam cha vyadhi nam ashrayo matah tatha sukhanam yogastu sukhanam karanam samah. This body, the body and mind, both are the foundation for our sickness, our diseases. Also, they are foundation for our happiness. And also it recognizes that there are both components, the bodily, the physical component, and the subtle component of mind. How does a bodily defect come about? Rog, Vayu Pittam Kafaschoktam Shariro Dosha Sangraha. The imbalance between Kaf, Pitta, and Vayu, that causes bodily sickness. Manasa Purupurna Ruddhishto Rajas Tamascha Tama Evacha. The Raj and Tam, those guna, they cause mental sickness. And how are they rectified? Prashamyati Aushadaiha Purvo Daiva Yukti Vyapashrayaiha Manaso Jnana Vijnana Dhairya Smriti Samadhi. The bodily elements, they are rectified. There are many means like medicines and herbal and meditation and fasting. There are many ways of rectifying your bodily disease. How do you cure mental disease? Again, it's a very fascinating, very modern approach. To rectify your psychological mental problem, the way is Gyan. you have to understand Vigyan. Gyan means know yourself. Vigyan means know the outside and the dhairya. If you have patience, then it rectifies your mental problems. Smriti, retention, samadhi. A lot of mental issues, mental diseases, they require you to disengage from what is causing you suffering. And the Jnana, Vigyan, Dhairya, Smriti, they cannot be practiced unless you have the ability, the capacity to control your mind. And that is where there is a connection between yoga and Ayurveda. And also, Chara Sangita also says that just the knowledge of an object or a medicine is not enough. Na nama jnana matrena roop jnanena va punah oshadhi nam param praptim kashchita vedutum arhati. If just somebody knows the name of the medicine or its composition, its character, does not mean that he knows the whole thing about that medicine. Yoga masam tu yo vidyat desh kalopapaditam purusham vikshya sa gyeyo bhishaga uttamaha. Who is a good doctor, practitioner of Ayurveda? Someone who has understanding of the time, circumstances, the environment, everything has to be taken into account, and then purusham vikshya. He has to prescribe medicine and treat a patient after examining every single individual. So it's not like you feed symptoms and computer will tell you what is the disease and what is the medicine. It's person specific, it's time specific, it's a geography specific. So that is the approach. Tadeva yuktam bhaishidyam yad arogyaya kalpyate sa chaiva bhishajam shreshto rogebhyo yah pramochate. Again, once the medication has been given, then the objective should be, it should cure the person of the disease. And person should be free from diseases. The medication should not result in birth of another disease. So the approach of Ayurveda is that there should be no toxicity, no side effect of whatever is administered. I think that is why we need our understanding of Ayurveda, not as a tertiary level education, but also understanding of Ayurveda and the principles, concepts of Ayurveda from the very early childhood, early schooling. Because it's not about having a medicine, it's about developing a mindset. And today, after Corona, like witnessing the pandemic of Corona, we have realized the acute limitations of allopathic medicine. You can cure symptoms, but invariably it causes side effects. So we need to promote Ayurveda for, first of all, a real health without any side effect. Secondly, we also need to promote Ayurveda because that is affordable. The cost of allopathic healthcare worldwide is unsustainable. Particularly in the developed world, the healthcare is an unsustainable burden. And in the years to come, when you have higher dependency ratio, aging problem, and shrinking labor force, then healthcare, this kind of healthcare expenditure is not sustainable. So we need affordable healthcare, and Ayurveda can play a very important role. And our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, he is personally very much interested in disseminating the knowledge of Ayurveda, which India has been privileged to inherit 1,000 years, generation after generation. It's free of cost. The knowledge is free. It's not patented knowledge. So, in the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the government of India has taken this initiative to share the knowledge of Ayurveda. And we in the embassy will be very happy to facilitate in whatever manner the knowledge sharing and sharing of experience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now, shall we invite people who have joined here and also by online, alternatively, so you can share your
It
views.
would be nice if we can have one round of introduction.
Yes. May I start? Maybe. Yeah. I'm first secretary here. Many of you, now I'm meeting many of you first time. I'm Murugaraj, first secretary and deputy head of mission here. I've joined 6 months back. Very happy to touch base with you and we'll be in touch.
My name is Don Brennan. I've been for nearly 40 years involved in the field of Ayurveda, and I found it a wonderfully rewarding career. I trained in medicine, but devoted to health, and that's why it's full-time Ayurveda for me.
My name is Noel O'Neill. I'm the director and the owner of the Ayurveda Centre in Ireland. I've worked with Dr. Brennan since possibly early 90s, would have been sometime around then. I'm business background, but I've devoted my business talents to trying to expand the knowledge of Ayurveda in Ireland. I would have to say to quite a degree of success in the last 3 years, really. Over the last 30 years, we could say that in the last 3 years, we've seen a huge growth in the interest of Ayurveda. And so my continued desire is to get this knowledge out there because it has profound benefits for everything, for human health and for environmental health, and just that because it encompasses everything. So to me, it's the solution to, I consider Ayurveda and yoga to be the same thing, really. I don't separate them. And also meditation, it's all the same knowledge. It's all Veda, it's all knowledge. So the bringing of these things to the forefront, and it's not anything that's not Irish either. It's in our roots as well, you know. So to bring this knowledge back and make it available to everybody in Ireland would be part of the desire of what we all do in the Ayurveda Centre. That's who I am. So
yeah. I'm Vaidya Chaitrali Patil. So I've been here in Ireland since 3 years and working with Noel and other colleagues, Dr. Raj and Nahid and Dr. Brennan. And I have past few experience, 15 years of experience in Singapore and India as well in Panchakarma clinics, and looking forward to promote more Ayurveda here and educate more people here to let them know about what Ayurveda is.
I'm Dr. Rajvinder, or Vaidya Rajvinder. Vaidya is a term we use for Ayurveda practitioners, and it's a 6-year degree program we did. And I'm in Ireland from the last 16 years, practicing with wonderful colleagues, Dr. Brennan, two new colleagues here, and it's quite rewarding. When I came to Ireland, Ayurveda was new here, but I can proudly say last 15 years it has gained its high prestige in the system. You will hear from some of our patients and how they have benefited. So we are working hard to spread Ayurveda, and people are benefiting. There's no doubt about that.
So I'm Vaidya Nahid. I have done my degree course from back in India. So I have 10 years of experience in Ayurveda. And I have joined the team back in 2019. So it's almost 5 years I'm practicing here. And I would say that people are really appreciating the Ayurveda here, especially after the pandemic and the COVID hit, with all the preventive measures, which we all have tried our level best to promote Ayurveda in any way possible. And people are really getting benefited with Ayurveda over here, and it's really appreciated. They are getting the benefits of Ayurveda. They are incorporating that in their day-to-day life to have a better health system.
Good morning. My name is MC Bhagat. I'm Second Secretary Councillor in Community Affairs. I look after passport and visas here. Anybody going to India for Ayurvedic treatment, we will give a special status, and we will issue a visa on a priority basis. And I would also like to inform everyone here that Government of India has introduced a new visa for Ayurvedic treatment. Whosoever, and it will be on our website very soon. as soon as we have information from the ministry, and they are all working on it.
Right.
We want to start.
Yeah.
We need your details.
Hello, my name is Lisa Miguel, and I'd like to thank the doctors for inviting me to come along today to join them. My background is a teacher of circular economics, which means zero waste, keeping everything in the biological and technical cycle. So I first met Ayurveda in Pune in India in 1998, many years ago. It's taken me a long time to embrace the system, but with the thanks of the doctors and Noel, last year I partook in a self-care, my first self-care Ayurvedic course, and now Dinacharya is part of my everyday life. And yeah, I very much embrace the holistic part of Ayurveda, just like the circular economy is the holistic economy, Ayurveda is the holistic health.
Jamie and Lee, I've got several hats, and all of them fit great, but as I was saying earlier on, this is India's century without a doubt. Ireland now has the longest life expectancy in Europe, but the challenge facing us all is how to extend independent living and improve the quality of that period. The relevant hat in this case, I'm on the policy board of Healthy Ireland, and peripheral involvement with MESA, which is the Mercer's Institute for Successful Aging. And the object of that group is to identify the factors, both physical and that contribute to that. And Chuck Feeney, who we have all indirectly contributed to, left 40 million for the purpose of contributing to the achievement of that. And he died there a couple of months ago. And, you know, he gave a great example that, you know, at a certain point when you're successful, that, you know, what is your legacy, that what ought we do and what can we do to ensure, I mean, the group at this table have probably lived in the best times the world has ever known, without question, longevity, health, communication, and whilst there are terrible things happening, there's also wonderful opportunities. And, you know, so out of this, you know, when I mentioned when I was coming to the couple of my friends and said, you know, up there with the fairies kind of thing, but it's not, or anything like it. It is that soft thing that allows you get more out of every day so that they, you know, and we haven't been good at that. Our happiness is dependent on, you know, when this happens or that happens or when you get there or stay good. And it'll be very interesting to see your experience and what you said about the last 3 years showing great growth. I think that's sort of significant that the time is right for this. And it's how communication is everything. How do we find a way of getting a mass audience for what we know would enhance everybody's life? That's my rant for that.
My name is Dr. Jwenish. I even from career point of view, I have few hats, very few. I'm a dentist. I am also a public health graduate. I did my master's here. And then when COVID happened, I started working for the pandemic, Irish response for Ireland, for HSE. And then now the work what I did during pandemic, they offered me a PhD. So I'm my domain, my specific currently main topic of my PhD is pandemic preparedness, infectious disease, but also One Health. So One Health is my professor, my supervisor. He's very passionate about One Health, and I want to channelize my career into One Health point of view. But simultaneously, I'm also a meditation and I also teach meditation and breath workshops, teach some yogas, and then I've been associated with the Art of Living organization. So today I'm here from the Art of Living organization. I'm also passionate about Ayurveda because I have a lot of my friends. I used to study with them, my friends, and then I was learning with them with time. And in last few months, I decided that I should learn a certified course so that I can change and have this holistic approach, because whatever you said, it is the realist, most practical thing. And from what I see is that doctors everywhere, they are not healthcare professionals. I mean, they are sickness professionals. They are taking care of sick people. But when it comes to health, proper holistic health, I feel there should be an integration of complementary medicine and certain things which can not only focus on your physical body, but on all different levels, like mental health, mind, and at a different consciousness. And in order to do that, you have to spread a wider net, not just have a narrow net of general medicine. So my way is highway. You need to have an integrated approach of everything. So I'm learning this certificate course of pulse diagnosis, Nadi Pariksha, and Ayurvedic. It's a long course, but after that I can practice some sort of basic Ayurveda. So that's my current ambition right now. The last thing I'll add is that I'm also a researcher. So one thing which is lacking in Ayurveda is research, because in Western world we have seen people believe in more scientific evidence, whereas in India and in China and other places we believe more in experience. If our parents say that this is good, this is good. But here it's not like that. And in last 15 years, a lot of research is happening from Ayurveda. That's why people are believing it. But that is again still lacking, and we need to work more on that as well.
The WHO started a new research institute in Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a good approach now. In UCD right now.
My name is Gauri Gupta. I have been a practitioner of yoga and meditation since I was 6. And Ayurveda is something which I cannot imagine being what I am today without the practice of Ayurveda integrated into my life. And I think that is the power of Ayurveda when you say that the impact of Ayurveda in the layman's life. It is such an integral part that we don't even realize it. And just small things make a huge difference. Of course, when we are so I also teach yoga, meditation, and breathwork courses. And at that time, we cater mostly to the mind and body, and all the other levels, intellect, memory. One of the things that we don't realize is a lot of times things that are happening in our mind is very deeply connected to what's happening in our body. And for example, the weather's now starting to get really cold, and so many people are suddenly experiencing thoughts and restlessness and things like that, and you might not even realize that it just might be the weather outside. Leave apart all the things that are happening inside and going deep into Ayurveda. But just knowing this much can have so much difference in our approach to ourselves, our mind, our body, and our reactions outside. So Ayurveda has been that integral part of my life. One of my guiding lights, Dr. Lokesh Raturi, he's joined us online today, and we'll hear from him soon. He's been there throughout, and because of him, Ayurveda for me has been a preventive approach. Not just preventive doesn't sound right, but it's more like a holistic living. And being inspired from that for the last 2 years, what we've been working on from under the umbrella of the Art of Living organization is getting really high quality Ayurvedic products to Ireland, and making it more accessible in terms of cost and in terms of availability to the masses. And that's kind of a vision that we're working on now.
My name is Hima Sharma. I'm Secretary Secretary of the agency. We're looking forward to get benefited by the views of the experts.
Thank you, Madam.
Yes,
let's request people who have joined by online. Please introduce yourself.
We're Evans and Rebecca Hoyt, and we've been working with Dr. Brennan for 4 years now. And exciting to be here, to join Dr. Mishra and to everyone. But we found, in addition to opening up to a different level in yoga and meditation, that the assistance and the guidance from Dr. Brennan really helped us through health issues that were impacting our lives in a way that Western medicine has never been able to help us with. The view of balance in life and the holistic approach towards an individual's health has just made an enormous difference for us. So it's great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, respected Ambassador Sir and everyone, myself Vaidya Lokesh from Sri Sri Tattva. Sri Sri Tattva is funded by His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji, founder of Art of Living organization, to bring health to entire world. He wants to see each and every person healthy and happy across the globe. That's what the organization, we all are working as a team to spread Ayurveda happiness all over world. So being an Ayurvedic doctor, I have trained more than 2,000 Ayurveda doctors in pulse diagnosis, being an expert in pulse diagnosis and marma therapy. I've been working almost 13 years in Europe. So I have traveled almost every part of Europe. And the last 8 years, I'm traveling to US. So I have trained more than 15 allopathic MDs in Ayurveda and pulse assessment. And now we have started the for all the health professionals, including dentists, including chiropractor, osteopath, craniosacral technicians, to learn the basic of pulse. At least they can find out the root cause of the disease and help on their way, whatever way they are treating. If they are allopathic expert, use their best, but they know what exactly happening in the system. They need to know where is the problem, because here we treat every individual unique. Suppose a Vata person is there, the regime will be the different. For a Pitta person is there, slightly it will be different. If a Kapha person is there, slightly it will be different. So that way you focus on individual constitution. Is it a Vata person, Pitta or Kapha? And what is that climatic condition? What is food and lifestyle? All that we consider before we make a treatment plan for the disease management. But the vast and the most popular things and the most potential today is on the wellness. How to stay fit and healthy. That is the first aim of Ayurveda. Prajanam chasya swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. So Ayurveda says just 3 things: ahara, vihara, and rasayana. Food according to individual constitution, then certain discipline for daily life, dincharya, like wake up early, sleep early, follow all the food guidelines, and then using certain rejuvenators. Many people, they don't talk about the rejuvenators, like you take Chawanprash, Triphala, Sangha, they called rasayana. If we take them properly, we can enhance our lifetime. So that's what the Ambassador Sir says, the life is like, Anubandha is a contract between all the 5 elements, 5 senses, mana, buddhi, ahankar and atma, is called Chaturvishanti Tattva. They are in a contract, but when the contract falls, life ends. But in Ayurveda, we can extend the life. That is the beauty in Ayurveda. In the Shastra, it says, if somebody take Panchakarma and then take Rasayana treatment after that, they definitely live 100-year life unless they die in a road accident. So it is wonderful science and is much more what we think. So treatment is a very small part, but being healthy and wellness, that is a vast subject today. How to stay fit and healthy. So food according to individual constitution. So you must need to know what constitution you are. Then certain discipline for daily life. Do little bit exercise, follow the dinacharya, have food in time, sleep in time. and then taking some rasayana like 1-2 thing, at least take Triphala, Ashwagandha, Chawanprash, a very basic thing, you will not fall sick at all. And if sickness comes, that we diagnose the best ancient diagnostic method. Just touching the pulse only, it tells everything what is happening in the mind and body. Even I do the consultation, darsana is personam prasne. By looking on the face only, I am able to download the data. Person sitting far, in 30 seconds, I can see what exactly is happening in the system. So I have trained almost 15 doctors in that remote consultation, but more than 2,000 BMS students I have trained in the pulse assessments. That is my small introduction. Yes.
So follow that. I'll follow that. My name is Paul Matthews, and can you all hear me? Yep.
Yes.
And I was very, very fortunate to meet Dr. Don in 2001. And I've always seen him as a gift to me. And it had huge beneficial impact by meeting him. And over the years, I've followed some principles of Ayurveda, and I've also tried, as you are doing, to talk with as many people that I meet about it. And sometimes it lands and sometimes it doesn't. So I am delighted to see you living your dreams and trying to take that gift to many people, because you know better than I that it's needed, and it needs to become just a mainstream part of life and health, and how people can understand better to look after themselves. Because as someone said in the room, most doctors are just dealing with sickness and that's it really, and they don't talk about beyond that. So thank you for what all of you are trying to do. You're very determined people. I remember back in the early days where it felt that Don was a lone voice. So I'm delighted that that's no longer the case, and that I'm sure that you have much, much more success as you continue to work in the way you are. So thank you.
I take it from that. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Tamara, and I am a patient of Dr. Nahid. I met all the team in 2020, and it was a few months later, a few months before I was diagnosed with motor neuron disease. So when I met the team, I was on a respirator with bilateral foot drop and on morphine due to musculoskeletal pain. So for more than 3 years, and I don't need the respirator anymore. I don't take any allopathic medication at all. I am still walking. I have difficulties, but I am walking. I am still talking, even though the tongue has dropped a bit. And I am strong. I am feeling very strong, very healthy. I live an Ayurvedic way of life completely. I practice Vipassana. I do all the asanas, all the breath work, and I cannot recommend enough Ayurveda to everybody, because for me, it has given me a life. So I am really, really grateful to all of you for this. Thank you.
Thank you all for your introduction. Now let's get into the actual discussion. So let's start the first round. What is Ayurveda? Its basics and fundamentals, and also how the people got benefited. Like we want to hear the first-hand experience or the second-hand experience as a doctor. You might have. Yes, let's start. And then may I request all of you to quickly, be precise, and then maybe 1 or 2 minutes time, so that everyone get opportunity.
I was hugely inspired again by his honor, who has given us, as usual, the essence of this incredibly ancient and wonderful tradition of life and health and knowledge. And taking this oneness aspect, which is the theme, fundamentally, Ayurveda understands each of us, not in material terms alone, not in mental terms alone, but in terms of a whole reality that each of us is an immense and powerful and wonderful expression of life, which is fundamentally consciousness. We're all conscious. Without that, we're dead. Consciousness reverberates within. In these reverberations, it manifests the experiences within our consciousness through our five senses, where we hear, see, smell, taste, and touch everything, the universe out there, every thought, every emotion in here. And how then that organizes in three fundamental dynamics, that all these elements that are perceived through the senses generate five dynamics. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata is movement, everything is moving within us and around us. Pitta is the transformations, we transform. And every particle of our being, in every impulse of our words, we're transforming. This is called Pitta. Vata is movement, Pitta is transformation, integrated. Everything is integrated in our lives. This is the dynamics of Kapha. These three give us unique characteristics, every one according to the proportion, and understanding our own natures in terms of these three fundamentals, which are connected back to our source, allow us to recognize who I am, what suits me, what food, what lifestyle, what experiences, what family connections, what careers. Everything can be used, and anything in Ayurveda could be a medicine that would bring us back to balance. And balance, as you suggested, is this synergistic integration of every aspect into a holistic function, which reminds us, Smriti, recognize your source. I am consciousness. And the oneness arises with that birth of that experience, because we start to be able through our senses to perceive that in others. You are conscious. All this is consciousness. This is the oneness we can awaken to, which is pure bliss, pure health, pure potential, pure vitality. It's our essence, it's our potential, and Ayurveda empowers people to that. And that is health, that is healing.
Very comprehensive and thank you so much.
It was mentioned earlier on that Ireland has the longest life expectancy in Europe, But I heard someone saying on the radio the other day that, we might be living longer, but we're also dying longer. And I think what they meant by that was that, a lot of people are getting into their 80s, but what sort of health are they in when they're getting into their 80s, So these chronic diseases are coming along with people in their 50s and 60s. And you may be alive until you're 83 or 85, but what sort of quality of life do you have, what diseases have built up over that stage? And of course, Ayurveda recognizes that there are 6 stages of disease. And generally in Western medicine, you don't even engage with the health professionals until you're at the 5th stage, when there's something very manifest. But Ayurveda has that knowledge there that, by knowing your nature, you can see the things that Dr. Brennan alluded to you. Everything in the universe is made of earth, air, fire, water, and space, which are congealed down to Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Everything is there. So everything is bringing you balance or imbalance. So that even the colors you wear, I'm wearing a nice blue suit because I'm a Pitta person. I don't think too many people wear red suits, but it certainly wouldn't suit me to be wearing a red suit anyway, So everything is either bringing you balance or imbalance. The foods that you eat, the activities that you get involved in, all of these things. And the more you stay in balance, the less there is a chance for disease to manifest itself, because it's in the word. It's disease. It's there, plain to see. The system is no longer at ease with itself. So that's the fantastic thing about Ayurveda. It's not the only system of healthcare that offers that prevention oriented, but certainly allopathic medicine tends to deal more with the, you have symptoms and you go along and you get something to suppress those symptoms. Whereas Ayurveda is looking right from birth. It's looking at your diet, your lifestyle, your type of personality and all these things. And that keeps disease at bay. And that's the great, great thing. And there is a huge awakening to this knowledge that I've experienced over the last few years. Just a huge appreciation of the knowledge that's there. And for me, it's only going one way. And it's going to become I think Modi said President Modi said he wanted Ayurveda to be as well known as yoga. And yoga is known everywhere. There is a yoga studio in every town and village in Ireland. And in many of the bigger towns where I live in Drogheda, there's probably 6 yoga studios. And we need thousands and thousands of Ayurvedic practitioners to give out this knowledge. And we will have those thousands and thousands. Today's meeting is how we go about doing that. That's the next step, to get those thousands and thousands of Ayurvedic practitioners, whether they're from the art of living, whether they're from the TM movement, whether they're completely independent of any organization, once they have the proper skills and the proper training and do things in a professional manner. But we need to establish that. And that's what I hope we can start laying the seeds for doing that under your guidance, David.
So as Dr. Brennan and Noel has just concluded about what Ayurveda is. So Ayurveda, what I feel is like it is a logistic and a scientific based knowledge. And when I'll just share the experience with the patients when I see here. So when we treat them or when we tell them, so they are more interested into what the lifestyle should be and how they can improve on that. Like the simple thing, if they have any digestive disorders or anything. So the thing is like they have more of cold things and cold sandwiches and cold food all the time. And the simple thing when we explain them logically, like how the hot food or the warm water will help your body. So that's how in a simple way, when we try to promote Ayurveda and when we try to educate people, they are really it's really very helpful for them and it's really beneficial. So we just look forward like how we can take this Ayurveda ahead in a holistic way.
Slide on what is Ayurveda and some basic principles. So Ayurveda is a very unique and individual approach. It's not like one size fits all. So here, all of you are sitting, and I can tell, oh, this person is this particular constitution. As one of our colleague online was saying, just looking at the face, he can see the data, what's going on there. So that's what Ayurveda is. It's a very individual approach. It's a very personal. The diet and lifestyle and herbal is tailored according to the need of that person. What I can give to Lisa, I cannot give to Damien. So it's just very individual personalized approach. I think that's what makes it very unique, and it's also like do no harm. There are no side benefits of taking herbs. As you were saying, we can give a medicine. I'm not against medicine, but just like it can arise some certain side effects. But with the Ayurveda herbs and following diet and lifestyle things, there will be a lot of side benefits that can add to person's health. So that's what is Ayurveda. Yes, Ayurveda model, if you were saying, if we give education to school kids, to their parents, we can prevent a lot of ailments. It's a very good preventive model. It's like swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, to protect the health of a healthy person and to cure the ailments without any side effects and things like that. That's what Ayurveda. And Ayurveda is like a mind, body, and soul approach. So it's looking into your body, what's going on. You might be perfectly healthy on the physical level, but there might be lots of thoughts. You're not sleeping. So it's also looking into your mental pictures, your emotional pictures, your social background, and your environment. Like we're talking about Ayurveda for One Health. So environment plays a big role. The plants, our herbs, the air we are breathing. So that's again Ayurveda. I have a big role to play on the environmental level as well. That's what India is trying to educate farmers. India is trying to educate community level to bring this on daily basis, like Ayurveda for everyone for every day. So just like even in your kitchen, that's like a kitchen pharmacy. If you educate people about the benefit of spices, of just putting cumin or turmeric, it's a great antioxidant. You can prevent a lot of things. So it just basic basic understanding of simple things, Ayurveda is a very good prevention model, and it's also great promotion for the good health. And you were talking about the cost effective. Yes, it's very cost effective. So that's what we need to explore more. So I think it's the individual approach that makes it more unique and holistic.
Like all my fellow doctors, I also believe that Ayurveda is a very holistic approach, and it not only looks like on a particular symptoms or a disease, but it helps to treat you. Like say for the case of Shamara, so she came to me with a motor neuron disease, but she was having all the symptoms of gastrointestinal disorders. Like she was having acid reflux, she was having bloating. And with the holistic approach of Ayurveda, she took all the approaches, like she corrects her diet, she corrected her lifestyle, she did the breath work, so all the possible things possible. So, and like the therapies, there were few therapies that she used to do, like the Abhyanga, like poultice, like taking a seeds bath kind of thing. And within the 3 months, all the gastrointestinal symptoms were like just out of, the question. Like she was not having any bloating, any acid reflux or anything. So I would say that Ayurveda can help us in many ways. And as we are like this year's theme is that it could be a one approach. So I would say if we take the preventive measures, they can help us to achieve the long-term goals like longevity, vitality, and delay the aging process. But the curative aspects, if someone is already suffering, so there are multi-dimensional curative aspects. We can do it by just correcting the diet, lifestyle, and the herbs. So the best part I say in Ayurveda is that each single herbs is designed in a way and it has such properties that it can help you in multi ways. It's just not that I'm having a headache and I just go and I take this and it will just cure my headache. No, it's not like that. Every single herbs in Ayurveda, brings a lot of goodness in our health. And there are multiple therapies like the Shirodhara, very common, Bastis like poultice, and the Nidra Tarpana. So these therapies, if we educate people over here, these therapies can really help like a lot of people because of the weather. As Gauri mentioned, that there is a weather also influence our health a lot. So winter is coming. So there will be increase of kapha, the water element, and people will start feeling anxious, depression. In these things, a simple Shirodhara, if someone goes and take a Shirodhara once a week, that can benefit them a lot. So I would say preventive and the curative, we should take both parallelly to educate us, to empower us with the good health. And if everyone is healthy, there'll be less use of chemicals, there'll be less industrializations, there will be less deforestation, and we will have a greener world and a healthy environment to live in, to breathe in. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking the promote Ayurveda. Thank you so much.
As I told DCM sir that I am not expert on Ayurveda and in front of me everybody is expert, but still I would simply say and admit and acknowledge that Ayurveda is certainly effective. It is not proven as of now, it is proven centuries and years ago. And I can give you one example. When Lord Rama was fighting a battle with Ravana, his younger brother fell, and he was given a certain time by this time, like a day's time. If he doesn't, if this medicine is given to him, and he could come back to consciousness. And then Hanuman, he went to mountains and he brought the special herbal, and he was given that herbal. And then Lakshmana is Lord Rama's younger brother. He came back to consciousness, and that is proven that in that age also the Ayurveda was as effective as it is today. Thank you.
So actually following on from your story, Rita, and so I just said that I met Ayurveda in 1998, so 25 years ago. And my journey then was really with massage and yoga until I met the team here. And really that was through, they offered 7 free lessons during COVID online. And I retrained as a physiotherapy assistant during COVID. And one of the people in my class said to me, have you seen, Lisa, you're into Ayurveda, have you seen the 7 free lessons online? So thank you, Noel, and thank you, doctors, for sharing that. Then that took me to the self-care program that the doctors provided for over 80 of us. We were more than 80 last autumn studying it, 93. And it was so wonderful as an Irish woman to sit in a room with 93 other, mainly Irish people. There were some people from England, a lady from Switzerland, but with mainly Irish people from all different backgrounds, and actually experience the joy of learning Ayurveda. So I shared with the doctors at the end of the course that for me, Ayurveda, like everything, is a lifelong learning journey, and learning is a really important part of it. So with my teaching hat on, I really appreciate the ambassador. Thank you for your words on we need to educate from the youngest right through. And so my education continued with Ayurveda through the doctors. And as a woman of 56, my body is aging. So the yoga, the massage, the food, I have used food as medicine since 1996. I followed mainly a macrobiotic path with the food because I suffered from colitis. My father and my 2 uncles passed from colon cancer. So it's the food journey, and just the food and the yoga and the massage kept me going to the mid-50s. But then I realized I need something more. And so the herbs, and we come back to the story of bringing the herb back to the herbs. Dr. Chitrali guided me, thank you, Dr. Chitrali, in December of last year. And after one consultation, to add certain additional herbs and certain other foods. And by February of this year, the colonoscopy showed no colitis for the first time in 30 years. The herb part of it is really, for me, a new part of the journey. And we need the doctors for us to receive that prescribed health care, not medicine, health care, because it is a lifestyle. So thank you very much.
Hard to follow all of those. Climate change is undoubtedly the biggest challenge facing us all in so many ways, and the potential health consequences of climate change. For example, when I was growing up in the West, there were no mosquitoes. This summer, we identified 74 different kinds in Galway.
Wow.
Now, as Danube and a few other things, the potential is a vector. So, a couple of unconnected things. First of all, mental health issues are also a huge challenge, because we can have a kind of a conveyor belt for fixing hips or knees or whatever, but you can't do that for attitude. And one of the things that is going to be a huge issue here, it really is in the States at the moment, thanks to our, I shouldn't say it, our Chinese friends shoveling this crap, fentanyl and opioids and stuff like that. And when we see the capacity of those to do bad, we now need to enthuse people to see the capacity of this kind of stuff to do good. That if you can take stuff that will make you a raving lunatic, you can also possibly take things that can make you a very blissful and happy, contented looking human. Now, the mechanism, education is key to that. And but 7 or 8 years ago, myself and a couple of academics set up a thing called Ayurveda For All, which we were going around giving talks in schools And we realized with 700 and odd schools in Ireland alone that it would take us years to do it. So we decided that we would put together content, evidence-based content dealing with all aspects of climate change and biodiversity, teach it to the teachers, and that they would disseminate it to the kids. And last year we had 400 transition year teachers who were the sort of middle range teaching here halfway through secondary cycle, so that they could pass it on. And we are known the next couple of days, but with Cooperation Ireland, which is the cross-border group here, they gave us some funding last year, and we had 30 schools up in the north, and they came back down to the south, and we got that interaction. But it was the enthusiasm and the hunger they had for things other than straight academics was really interesting. And because of that, the All Ireland Fund has just agreed in principle, verbally, to give us funding to have maybe 250 to 400 schools in 25 engage actively and fund this. Now, the mechanism we were using were 1 hour modules dealing with pollution, circular economy that happens, water, health, climate change, the science. Now, we now want to expand the number of those modules, and modules on Ayurvedic stuff is perfect, because to get kids enthused is the challenge. And a number of years ago, some pals of mine did a master's in Harvard on the theory of e-learning and how to write e-learning content, okay? Because there's an art in finding how to enthuse people in a limited amount of time, which then becomes the lever, be it in public health or anything, to, and if you get this right, want to do one module, it's addictive, you want to do a second one, you want to do a third one. But it's like the soaps or whatever, you don't want to find the key to make sure that you get the stuff right, that hits the broadest level for enthusing. So that would be one way that I would love to see it progress, that we find a way to get the young people to see it as a component of A, contributing to climate change issues, B, to avoid the drugs and lifestyle stuff, and that we're not necessarily good at cross-generational interaction here. That, when I was a kid, maybe there were more people living with 3 or 4 generations, which I think happens more in India. And that if we can get the Ayurvedic concept as that cross-generational thing, and for young people to appreciate the wisdom that there is in fellas with no hair and grey hair and stuff like that. It benefits everybody. So it does. But these things don't happen by accident. And who is it, or where does the kind of time and the expertise and the evidence-based research come that facilitates that? So somewhere between the genius of here and the practical, pragmatic stuff and the cynical bastard and stuff, that there might be some way, because we are lucky to have the most extraordinary and enthusiastic representative of the nation that ever strolled the back roads of Ireland here. So.
Yes.
Well, pretty much everyone has described the definition of Ayurveda and everything, so I won't go to that section. But just to add, my understanding several years ago about Ayurveda was that, as someone mentioned, that it deals with the root cause, not with the symptoms. So like The example usually I give is about headache. So if you have headache, what would you do? You would take a medicine, but you don't know why do you have headache. It might be dehydration, it might be ABCD, anything, any cause. So with Ayurveda, I guess experts can diagnose why are you having headache, what is the root cause of that, and when you deal with that root cause, that's when you can come out of the main problem. So that's the basic approach I felt very fascinating. And when I was studying pharmacology in dentistry, I was very skeptical to see when Ayurvedic friends mine, they used to say that we don't have any side effects in Ayurvedic medicine. And I used to study 10 complications, like 2 or 3 pages of complication of NSAIDs and everything. So it was very interesting to see that what we study in pharmacology medicine is this much use, but this much complication. And they were our 10 marker questions. I'm sure you must be knowing that. So it was very difficult for me to accept that how can you not have complications, or there might be, but that was the most turning point for me, and I was regretting I should have joined Ayurveda. So since then I started out of passion learning more about Ayurvedic knowledge and diving more into it. But then as today we are here with all different, we are all going to the same direction with different cars. That's what I can see, but we all have that same vision. So with that approach, the most important thing, as I was mentioning before, was evidence-based content, which is still missing, and that is because what I have understood so far is that Ayurvedic doctors are very good in terms of practice and knowing everything. But when it comes to research, I feel public health experts should get involved to acknowledging that this is a field and there should be some research that should be done on that activity by comparing and doing so many research topics. In our school, like in UCD, I have seen, because of this approach, I did my thesis on meditation in 2019, systematic review, and it will be published soon. But it was very well recognized in Europe, in World Congress, and Italy, and various part of European countries. Recently, even in Dublin, we had European Public Health Conference. So that's when people started realizing the importance of meditation, and gradually about Ayurveda, because people relate very well to that. So this huge communication gap is because there is no research papers. And if there are, then it is one-sided. When people think that they are published in India, it might be biased. So this is the prejudice people have before even reading the research paper. So that is something which we need to change by developing a European Ayurvedic council or something. Especially, there should be a council. We have council for medicine and dentistry and for physiotherapy. We should have some start for council of Ayurveda in Ireland. That would be a very, very important start. Through that, we can channelize a lot of activities. And when we have research in Ireland, third most important thing which can help health policy and health protection is having data. Like, Healthy Ireland have a huge data set. We use that for researches. But imagine if we all, whatever patients you deal with, if you have all the data and we collect all that data together, having different sections, patients, and we can structure that. If we have that data set, then we can have it under the Healthy Ireland domain. And if it is under Healthy Ireland domain, then a lot of universities can use that for thesis and for publication and for everything. So that is another thing which we need to integrate everything. We always talk about interdisciplinary approach, but are we really doing it? So that's something which we need to see in terms of practicality. And if I can contribute in any aspect, I'm always available. Yeah.
And to add just one point to what Janish has mentioned is that I think one of the countries, one of the European countries to look at might be Netherlands, because it's adapted Ayurveda so well and it's so widely recognized as a medical practice there that it's covered by all the insurances. It really matters, because when, as I was saying, that we've been trying to get Ayurveda products to Dublin, we had a few. Of course, I did not know that we have so many Vaidyas here itself, but we flew a couple of Vaidyas from Netherlands and from the UK. And one slight hiccup that we faced while enrolling people for Nadi Pariksha was that insurance didn't cover it. And for a common person, that is a very substantial thing. So maybe something to look at. And in terms of my views, we've heard such expert views from all the Vaidyas and public health sector. But I share it from an Ayurvedic practitioner's view, from someone who's benefited from Ayurveda throughout my life. And I feel the knowledge of Ayurveda is very freeing. It is for me a freedom. By nature, I'm a perfectionist, right? So I would want everything to be perfect.
No, women.
And so many times what happens is the anger that arises in you, the thoughts that arise in you, you kind of link it to yourself. You think that I am anger or I am these thoughts, and you get frustrated. And this is a common problem, what a common man faces. I know now this might not just be related to your thoughts or emotions, it might be related to certain function of your body. Some people don't have a very strong digestive system from the beginning, right? Or some people might need some even mental support, so many different aspects of health, right? But the moment that we start associating these diseases, or we start associating the imbalances with ourselves, I think that is where the major problem occurs in our day-to-day life. So just the knowledge that this is there, this is my body constitution, and when this imbalance happens, I am prone to these imbalances, right? Just the knowledge of that is so free. Because we are saying that Ayurveda increases life to 100 years, right? But how I'm living in this moment, that is what makes a life worth living. Actually, that is the art of living, isn't it? Right? And I think Ayurveda, small practices, just knowing about ourselves, and personally, not just knowing about myself, or the knowledge of myself, as you were saying, also brings knowledge of other people, right? So I know what my husband's tendencies are, and that's due to his body constitution as well. So it is so much easier to see how to deal with them, isn't it? And this is what is a part of our day-to-day interactions, of our day-to-day what life is made of. And I think Ayurveda is such an integral part of that. We used to say that even in my group here, I'm known as a nani, grandmothers, because anyone would say, oh, I'm facing this. You can have that CCT and this, that, and so what? Someone's feeling very cold, or you do oil massage and things like that. But that is the fact of matter. Maybe just 5 minutes or 10 minutes, practices of 5-10 minutes a day can change our entire life and our approach to it. And that's my learning. And, in today's lifestyle, Gurudev says that within activity, we are not able to perform our best, right? There's a burnout that happens within such an active lifestyle. And while we're resting, then there is also activity, isn't it? The rest is also not restful. So maybe through Ayurveda, what can reach to, not maybe, it is of course, but if our aim is to reach it to every household here, there is a restfulness in activity, making our potential to be 100% in whatever we are doing, and there would be restfulness in rest, and that would improve the quality of life so much. When we had the sessions in RDS, we were overbooked by people who were joining for the Nadi Pariksha sessions. Of course, we've done it, so we weren't surprised, but they came out fully surprised. How did they know? How did they know that this is my lifestyle? How do they know what's happening inside? I think just that knowledge and knowing that it's just tiny things that you need to change can make your life so much wholesome. It brought them so much freedom. So yeah, that again, when we received the invitation for this roundtable discussion today, I felt very happy, and I think just organizing this is really boosts the enthusiasm to do something more.
It's time for people who have joined by online. Yeah, you can please share your views.
Sharing the benefit they have.
Benefits.
Yeah, so I think they have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, during the session, you have shared some of your benefits. Now you can have more elaborate, but maybe please be comprehensive and brief in your presenting your views. Thank you.
Okay. Well, for me, I just feel there's been huge benefits. I feel that the first thing for me was becoming calmer and less stressed. And it feels that, well, we know what potential issues stress brings. So, and there were just simple things that just made life feel richer, really. And yeah, I'm 98 next week, and I think that I look very good on. Sorry, well, all right, 94. So yeah, it's felt a calmness, a peace, and other things that Don has spoken to me about over the years that I've just felt beneficial. So although I've had some issues which I don't know if I had known Ayurveda since I was 1, it may have changed. Who knows? However, I just feel that it just makes me feel there's energy, there's a youthfulness about the way I live. And as I said to you earlier, it's not about I do thousands and thousands of things, but I just try and pay attention and notice. So yeah, I just want lots of other people to. But I mean, I haven't got stories like some of you have had. I've heard other people. I was speaking to a guy the other day that locally, and he was saying that he had an issue, a big issue, and no Western medicine doctor seemed to be able to solve it. And his wife sought out an Ayurvedic doctor, and they went to India, and they recognized very quickly he had a liver issue. And he's now completely fine, and those are the things that people need to become more aware of. And it's a challenge when you're speaking. When I speak to some, if I go to the doctors, I speak to people about it, and it's just like they're just not interested, and it's such a shame. So, the fact you're going into schools, and because it has to start young, it has to start early, and yes, it has to be as well known as yoga. So as I said, Don was a gift to me, and I benefit from the richness of his knowledge, his wisdom, and what underpins that, which is the Ayurvedic knowledge, and it's just wonderful, and I'm very, very grateful.
Mr. Stephen, would you like to share something?
Well, when we first had our interactions with Dr. Brennan, both of us had health issues that we had dealt with over a long period of time. Myself with severe allergies, Becky with respiratory issues. But those were the symptoms, and Western medicine had dealt with them through drugs that had side effects that had negative impact on our quality of life. And we had known and taken part in meditation and yoga prior, but not to the degree that we later got into it. And it was so refreshing to have this holistic view of our entire body and mind, and how our health, our inner being is all one. And through simple changes in diet, in outlook, our view, through meditation, through this whole view of life in balance and how life in balance has such an impact on how we live, on how our body works. And it was amazing. The changes through addressing our diet issues, through this concept of food as medicine. So simple, and yet it had such a deep impact on our quality of life. And we have a very active life. We live and voyage on a sailboat. It's very physical, and we have had so much of a quality of life improvement over our ability to live well.
And it was through just very simple techniques, as the doctors were mentioning, just to do a few dietary changes, just about when you were eating and the amount and that type of thing. After just several months of making those extremely simple changes, we're able to get off all inhalers, all these other medications, and that type of thing. And to me, the most surprising thing was how short a time period we could make such a big difference. And, just really, really be able to live a full life. Before that, every time I would go back to the doctor, they would say, oh, another inhaler for you to take. And that was just giving me more and more side effects. And I was never feeling any actual physiological improvement with what they were doing. And that's when I came to Dr. Brennan, I was like, I go and they keep giving me these things, but I'm not feeling any better when I'm taking them. I said, I would take this stuff if it made me feel better. And he said, okay, let's just, you continue what you need for a little while and we'll just make these few changes. And the difference was just, you would almost say it was miraculous. For such simple things, you would never think that you could get such a big change in your physiology. So for me, it was astounding. And, just to have such paying attention to the finer details in life, the improvement you can have in your life.
Individualized and holistic approach was just very refreshing. It just made so much sense and made all the difference in our lives.
It really did.
Thank you, Mr. Stephen and Ms. Rebecca. Then Ms. Tamara, if you want to share something.
Yes. For me, Ayurveda has given me joy, has given me calm, a part of a very good health. Through meditation, all the kleshas in the mind are getting purified. The choices I make are better for my health. My intuition of what is good for me is growing. Mental health is fantastic. And so physical health is impacted by all that. And the fact that I have movement back, to be able to breathe on assisted back, I know that motor neuron disease is not curable, but Dr. Nahid told me that through Ayurveda, it can slow down. And this is what is happening. So And the fact as well that a lot of Indian doctors and nurses know about Ayurveda. And when I am hospitalized, they are able to explain to Western doctors what I am doing in a good way. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. So I would love for Ayurveda to be common knowledge for everybody, because it's a way of living that helps at every single level, from mind to body to consciousness, and brings you pure joy. This is the thing that Ayurveda has given me most, joy.
Dr. Lokesh, you can have your brief.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, sir, I am basically from Uttarakhand, Himalaya region, and I learned Ayurveda from my grandma lab. She was like a traditional healer. The confidence she has, just using certain herbs, and the person will get healed. So what I learned from her, more than herb, is the mind power for healing. How you connect with the person to bring the wellness, to bring the mind positive. And that's what exactly I am teaching today also with the Nadi Pariksha and the Marma techniques. I just did one webinar 2 days back about the Marma training. So I was on the video call. So one patient was there with the frozen shoulder. I just tell her just these 2 points, only 30 seconds, the frozen shoulder open up. So it is like gentle touch, and with a positive mind can really bring a big change. So that's what I feel today we need to educate people first. So with the webinar, with the seminars, with the classes, first starting with the dinacharya, and then all the secondary part we can bring the Ayurveda expert or a wellness expert in the field of Ireland to bring the more knowledge to this field. But what my experience is from the Ayurveda is not only the medicine, is a person's attitude, mind setup is necessary to bring it positive. That can only comes with the yoga, meditation, and good company. So mind play a vital role in wellness. That's when Ayurveda we call swa-istha, establish in the self. You know what I understand, being a practitioner of meditation and yoga and being an Ayurveda doctor for so many years, that yogis are doing so many sadhana, going to Himalaya, leaving the family, and then they get the knowledge of self. But here in Ayurveda, we are giving the knowledge right away there. Swa-istha, establishing the self. So self is an entity, like we are talking about the Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar, Atma, Panchagyanendriya, Panchatanmendriya. It is like how you take a pizza base and then everything is on the topping. So if self is not there, topping has no value. But if self is there, if one topping is missing, if one eye is missing, one hand is missing, body will still continue. That's what exactly, when coming back to self, brings healing, not just the medicine. So healing always comes from within. So when we rest well or meditate, anything can be healed, from common cold to cancer. So that's why we really need to promote more on the wellness and the benefit of food, lifestyle. In Ayurveda, called samanya or visesa. Similar things. Suppose you have the less calcium, okay, take some milk, it will go. If you have too much fat, visesa means using opposite. If you have too much extra fat in the body, use trika-2 or use 1-year-old honey, that will reduce your fat. So these things we are using in Ayurveda as a tool and technique. Either we use the similar thing to increase or opposite thing to decrease, and then some elimination therapy to bring the harmony. So my request also to bring more focus on wellness and how to heal ourselves with positive mind. That's what I want to say, sir. Because I have seen really miracles happening with the meditation. Yes. Thank you for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for your wonderful views. Now, since we have a limitation on time, let's couple our last two rounds together. So you can share your views, either any one of this. It's not necessarily on both. One is Ayurveda in Indian context. The scope, the room for further improvement, or scope for further reaching out to people. Similarly, Ayurveda in the Irish context. So here, scope for reaching out to people and further development, further promotion. Yes.
So,
one by one, shall we?
I wouldn't feel in any way empowered to advise about Ayurveda in India.
Can I?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Because the objectives from Ayurveda Day, that's what's happening in India. They chose the theme as perfect. So I'm just going to give definition for perfect. What is the scope of Ayurveda? What the Ayush government is trying in collaboration with IGAM and WHO and the health ministry. So the perfect P is promote position of Ayurveda to global forefronts of healthcare system. So that's the one P. And then E is explore the potential of Ayurveda contribution to national health policies, and then to the social, the overall world health policies. So that's where I think Indian government is going to see the potential of that. And then reduce disease burden, which we know our health system is burdened by the disease, and then associated morbidity and mortality by harnessing untapped potential of Ayurveda, which we still have to tap into that. And then F is focus on unique strength, which we have explored now, and its potential of preserve health and well-being of human, including plants, animals, and environment. And then enhance trust, that is from the scientific evidence and all that, and credibility of Ayurveda, and promote awareness through community engagement among general public, and then farmers and students. So that's what the initiative will be for the government. And then cultivate a culture of illness to wellness, and through Ayurveda for its holistic uniqueness, holistic awareness. And the last is to create awareness that Ayurveda is a time-tested, evidence-based scientific system of health. So to precise that, Ayurveda proposed the paradigm of Ayu to Drigayu, which is health, age to long living, and Drigayu to Sikhayu, and that long living should be healthy living, a good living, to Hitayu, and that should be for good for everyone. So that is the paradigm that Indian government is proposing. So that's what I say. That's what India.
Looking to the Irish context, we have a brand new initiative of Slán to Care. And it just brings to mind the essential necessity of an absolute change of paradigm, because Slán to Care is all about empowering the services to help the patient. And what's absolutely missing is to empower the patient to help themselves. If patients take to Ayurveda, my life's experience, all my readings, all the research point to the reality that up to 80% of patients who end up with their GPs could in fact take care of themselves if they only knew how. If you introduce Ayurveda, take that burden off the GPs in turn can take the burden of illness on board, which relieves greatly the pressure on the hospital services. The whole thing works. It works financially. That's the incredible thing. We can never afford what we're, seeking to do with medicine. And medicine is treating disease, and all the people involved in the health services are in that mindset. It comes back to what Damien was saying. Education. Damien, we're here. We have been trying to develop these courses. Getting them to the people has been our challenge. Noel has been an immense bonus to us in communicating. But to get it into the schools that you're attending, we would need you to empower us to communicate to such a remote generation to us Spalding a lot. But I'm sure we could structure courses with you that you could make available to the schools.
And that is feasible, but it's like treading on eggshells. There are 27 centres for professional development of teachers. And each mixture primary and secondary school teacher must do 1 to 3 days a year professional development course. And they're sick of doing new maths and creative writing and stuff. They want to do something different. Now, the people who decide on what content is acceptable for that, that's an art. We were laughed at when we said we were going to do this, and we managed to inveigle them to accept. And I wouldn't say they're blindly accepting them, but they're now, whatever modules we put in, they accept, okay? But 4,000 odd used the different modules last year. Now, to structure those in a way that will withstand criticism from cynics or whatever is the art. It's how the stuff is phrased at the beginning. Now, the key to that is sitting beside me, I think. That the couple of very wonderful ladies who decide on what content can be used, they themselves will be very happy. But then it goes into, possibly, but they mightn't bother, into the Department of Education on Marlborough Street. And they have 200 people there. It's like on board Planola. Their primary joy in life is to stop things. So you either want to, yeah. So the art is finding stuff that fits below a bar that nobody can be against, like motherhood and children and everything. So we figure that, and if it's phrased in a concept of a research project.
And I think if we look for research on Ayurveda purely in terms of the research paradigm of active principles in herbs, which will involve eons of finance. If we actually look in a different direction, we see that Ayurveda is evidence-based, because we now have lifestyle medicine and every aspect of Ayurveda's approach to health, from the benefits of food to the benefits of the lifestyle changes, it is evidence-based. And we can draw on that expanded remit of evidence to make the points that what Ayurveda is saying, you go to bed at 10, proven. You get up early, proven. Midday, proven. Even simple things like an oil mouth rinse, proven. 70% left bacteria in the mouth all day. All these researches are contributing to an evidence base, which, yes, it's not hugely financed by a massive industry. However, there's enough evidence there to make the point that this is time-tested and evidence-based and working in the lives of our patients now here in Ireland. So we could make a good argument, I think.
Can I add something to that? Well, if you see, there is a lot of preconceived notion or skepticism. When you talk to any Western people, they have this preconceived notion. When you say about meditation, okay, when you say about Ayurveda, and why is that? Because often they relate with religion, or it could be something out of the world. It is something cult. Cult is the absolute word. This is what I've heard actually. Yeah. It might be a cult. So, in order to address that, I feel we need to. Yes, there are Ayurveda is evidence-based. We all know that, but it is not in medical literature. It is there in Ayurvedic context, but it is not done with medical comparison point of view. In terms of database, we have very little literature compared to what's been taught. If you see universities, they will do research on every aspect, but they will involve all medicine, but not Ayurveda. Why is that? So when we need to go to that ground level, and how we can do that, I have laid few skeletal points, if you don't mind. First is, we need to have a council establishment. It could be a small council just to begin with, internal council, not to make a major grand decisions, but having an internal Irish Ayurvedic Council, which can have certain policies which we can structure with, depending on Healthy Ireland and Healthy Ireland. And then second thing is, we need to liaise with other things as well, like health products, HPRA, right? Health Products Regulatory Authority. So again, all the medicines and all, we have to get it approved through them. So now again, I may have very little knowledge, but as far as I know, I feel we can only get supplements because it can be accepted as supplements. Triphala and many other medicines can be part of a mineral or an additive preventive aspect. But if you're getting medicines, then it is a very tedious process to get in Ireland. So even if we are practicing something as an Ayurvedic practitioner, we have hospital and everything. What's the point if we don't have medicine?
And also to add to that, like even the supplements, to get them registered, it's a very extensive and very expensive process.
Yes. So that even I was looking at that HPRA thing, and it's they have everything but very little information on Ayurveda. Just a few statements.
Just retired head of that, Anne McGarry.
Yeah.
She's smart, cookie, coffee with her, and she gives directions.
Okay.
Keep going.
And the third thing is the regulatory process, because there is regulatory process for everything. For Ayurveda, I mean, when I was looking on internet, I didn't find any proper explanation on this is the steps and this is the protocol. Yes, and maybe I'll have to email and find out. Maybe I don't have much knowledge, but I feel that is something, a standardized policy process for, in order to practice in Ireland, this is what you need to have. So a regulatory process is something that's going to be. The fourth thing is, which I mentioned before, was data hub for Ireland. When whatever cases we do, I mean, this is what I realized as a dentist as well. I was practicing as a dentist for 3 years, but I never used that data for research. Now after doing my MPH, Masters in Public Health, and doing PhD, working for HSC for 3 years, I know the importance of data, how impact it is, how good it is for policymakers. You can use that data for your own practice, knowing that how many patients I had for this, for colitis, or for this and for that. Knowing that, you can refine your practice or self-improvise. So research is very important for yourself and for the community. So for that we need data, a good quality data. If we have a council, we have a data which is held by Healthy Ireland. It is easy to access to universities. Then the next process is to link in with universities. If universities have that tie-up and if they are aware of, okay, there is this Ayurvedic thing, there are a lot of internationals who want to do research on different aspects, but they don't have data to do anything. So the fourth thing is about research. The fifth thing where we all can contribute and do something is, if we can connect with have some funding opportunities. Like I have submitted few grant applications for various things. For one was pandemic preparedness, one was for meditation, importance of breath work and artificial intelligence. But again, these grant applications, they would come from different places. Yeah. So like I applied from Europa Horizon. They do create a tender for these things. We don't have any tender for we don't have funds to do any research on Ayurveda because there is no tender created in Europe. So even if passionately we want to do research, we need funds to do that. And to begin that, if we can have a council or something to begin where people can chip in and do something and have a pilot initiative first, where we have a pilot initiative as in like, this is what we have done. When that pilot is implemented in a specific area for slant care or for anything, because that is the next future. Ayurveda is the future and present and future both actually. But in order to have that, that's the process we need to approach with fundings and everything. And the researches are usually 2-3 years research based. So every few months you can publish some sort of articles which will be country based and recognized. And through that we can spread not only we can do health promotion. Health promotion is lacking. I'm sure very few people know about Ayurveda over here. Only when we talk, we know. I mean, we tell them, and it is very mind-blowing experience for them.
Smoking.
Yeah, they think that it's something crazy, and so health promotion is completely lacking. But health promotion can come only when we have evidence over here at local level. And and then the next action maybe after this meeting would be meeting with the decision makers who can help us in getting integrated in certain aspects and getting access to certain opportunities. So these few things I have listed. Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, the insurance. So insurance getting. I know there are many insurance companies over here, VHI, Laya, and so and so. We can get in touch with one for now. If one insurance company agrees, eventually everyone will start following the same protocol. So we can begin with something small, but in a proper channelized way. That will remove the skepticism gradually, because and that will take time at least, but it will be more practical, I feel. So yeah, this is what I have summarized.
Anybody else? Okay, the key to some of this kind of stuff is some actuarial figures of some sort.
Say that again, sorry.
Some kind of actuarial figures will justify and facilitate, because most health insurers are reinsured with somebody like Munich Re, Score, or that, and they're very good. They are potentially very good at early funding of stuff that might save them 10 fortunes.
Yeah.
Not out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it's true.
Mindfulness has acquired a small element of acceptance.
Yes, I'll just add to that. There is a master's in mindfulness course, and there's a 2-year master's course in mindfulness in UCD.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to that. And
That's
that
right.
one of the faculty, she did meditation, because they both are quite different, mindfulness and meditation. So when she attended the meditation session, she said that I've never felt like that before. And she is the module coordinator for mindfulness. So, sometimes half knowledge is,
Yeah, they've
we know
taken
that.
it from Aberystwyth, because Aberystwyth in Wales has had a degree in meditation and mindfulness since the 1990s. And they were the leaders in the UK, and UCD has just
started, yes, taken over.
Finally, it's coming. I would actually say, having, been on an Ayurveda journey, I didn't actually mention earlier that I trained in Ayurvedic yoga massage back in 1998. Kusum Modak is the lady in Pune who put yoga inside Ayurvedic massage, and she has an institute, the Kusum Modak Institute. You can find it online. So since 1998, besides my circular economy hat, I've also had an Ayurvedic yoga massage hat. In Italy, I lived in 98 and I practiced the Ayurvedic yoga massage. It was my main source of income, because the Italians and their body, they're very physical. They will take on, and they have embraced Ayurveda. Ayurveda is alive and well in India, very much so, since the late 90s, etc. with them. Here in Ireland, it's been a much slower process. Yet with my nieces and nephews, who are now in their 20s, when I would arrive home from London to County Clare to see them, the first thing they would do was throw themselves on the floor, because and Lisa, massage time, because from small children, they received the massage. Today, they're in their 20s, they still have no problem chucking themselves on the floor to receive the massage. It is changing. I live in Kerry in Dingle. Dingle has a big open-minded community. And so there are pockets in Ireland that have embraced Ayurveda, right? And if we focus on those pockets and moving it from those places where there are more open-minded people, where they don't think it's, just some superstitious whichever scenario with it. So my experience is that it is, and as I say, I sat in a room with 93 other people last September, thanks to Noel and the doctors organizing the Ayurveda self-care. That consisted of health professionals, it consisted of engineers, it consisted of teachers, it consisted of doctors, it consisted of nurses. The health professionals were sitting in that room for their self-care training, because we all there is a large percentage of the Irish population who know how to take self-responsibility. So this is just nudging them forward, giving them the encouragement. So to me, the Ayurveda is responsibility for us around this table, is to encourage every Irish person to take that responsibility, which we're used to taking, right? But we just need a little guidance into having, and I've called it, just as we were talking, a virtuous circle. the virtuous circle is that this is common sense, like Dr. Brennan has said, like the other doctors have said. Our grandmothers, my grandmother taught me a lot of Ayurveda basics. When I was a child, I just didn't know. Once I came to Ayurveda, then I realized, oh, my granny taught me that. So that is still alive with my generation of people, because we weren't the nuclear society that we are today. We were a more extended society. So there are a lot of us in the country who are ready to embrace this knowledge, this wisdom that Ayurveda has to offer. And now I'll be quiet, otherwise I'll talk all day.
Do.
Is there anybody else who want to add something, or we can proceed to the?
I'd love if I might. I thank you for your overview. I think it's absolutely perfect. It's absolutely what we need. My concern is, as now, I suppose, an elder, and having devoted a lot of energy over a lifetime, various aspects of what you're suggesting. I think we have to have shortcuts, and we have to absolutely pinpoint what with least energy will make most progress rapidly.
I have such answer to that. Well, in Ireland, the most concerning congregate setting is the nursing homes, and we know what happened during pandemic and how difficult it was. The decision making was, there was a lot of things. I mean, I can talk more about it, and pretty much what happened. And nursing home is something where we have seen a lot of people are very depressed. I mean, the chronic disease, because of chronic illness and a lot of health issues, they are in the nursing homes. So when we are planning about a pilot study, we can think of having Ayurvedic doctors doing consultation in nursing homes. And nursing homes, I mean, I know I've worked with some retired nurses and for HSE, so I know how lovely Irish people are, and they will welcome everything. And I'm sure not everyone is so skeptical. So we can start from there. Once we reach that area, and then that's how we can start the ball rolling. At least this can happen parallelly. It's what we decide. I mean, if everyone agrees, but this is something which we can start, because nursing home is something which is completely untouched, and we don't do anything over there. And
community hospitals as well. Community
health centers, and
because they are mainly residential nursing homes,
disability centers,
hospitals.
all the residential congregate settings. Again, in One Health, we talk about in Europe. I was in various conferences. Everywhere they emphasize more about zoonotic infections, about plant-based diet. But again, the plant-based diet is highly processed, so that is another thing. Then the third thing is environmental health, climate change. They also speak about nutrition, but the nutrition is for chickens. Like they need omega-3 and all that, so that people can have omega-3 through chicken. So these kind of discussions are happening. But what we all know now already, that what Ayurveda can offer from nutritional point of view, from One Health point of view. But in One Health, we talk about everything except Ayurveda.
Yeah. So we can think on the palliative treatment for the nursing homes.
Again, then that involves maybe speaking to the director of nursing home, or I don't know the legal process. Maybe you can help with that.
And the hospice groups as well.
Yes, besides the palliative treatment. So as part of my physiotherapy assistant role, I couldn't go into the hospital as that during COVID. And so I went in as a healthcare assistant, which was the director of nursing at Dingle Hospital recommended it. And I'm very grateful to Deirdre Quaid, who was the director at the time. So in Dingle Hospital, we have a palliative care ward, and we have a dementia, stroke, Alzheimer's, stroke, brain injury ward. They are the two divisions within the local community hospitals. I can't speak of nursing homes, but I do know the local community hospitals in Kerry, which we have 8 of. Now, so it's not just the palliative care end, the dementia, stroke, Alzheimer's, stroke, brain injury end. There is huge scope for pilot studies to be done in Ireland for the assistance of Ayurveda for those residents in community hospitals, they're called, rather than patients. Also in nursing homes, they're called residents because it's where they live. It's their home, etc. And during my time there, I did 3 months work placement and then I did 6 months contract. After 6 months, I had to stop because my health was at cost, my own personal health, doing 12.5-hour shifts, 4 days in a row, then having 2 days off, work, recovery, work, recovery. I had my meditation, my yoga, my food, everything else. And I had to stop in August last year because the cost was to my health. Therefore, the staff within the hospital, they used to always say, oh, what have you got to eat today, Lisa? You know, what can you tell us something on food, etc. But, you know, the staff within those places also, they could do with the Ayurveda self-care knowledge and help and assistance with it. But just coming back to, at the end of the 6 months, I was exhausted. Fortunately, I started the self-care program in the October of last year. By the December, my energy had returned X amount. It's taken 12 months to regain strength, but that strength would not be there without the Ayurveda team that are sitting across the table from me with it. So there is a huge scope. I go back in as a volunteer to the hospital once a week now, where I can do the hand massage, the foot massage, where I can do things that are holistic, that are Ayurvedic with the residents of the hospital. There is no time for the staff to do that when you're working full time. So there's a great need in these organizations. And for sure, private nursing homes, I think it's a wonderful pilot scheme because they will jump at it. You know, the activities coordinators are looking for things that they can do to improve the well-being. It's the words that you're using. That's what Ayurveda is, the well-being of the residents, the quality of life of the residents. So I think it's a great idea to target it.
Ambassador, I'm aware time is short. I congratulate you first on this gathering. It came to my awareness that we will be talking to ourselves, which is the misfortune I've experienced over decades, how this wonderful wisdom gets great expressions amongst ourselves without getting up. But you've been so wise to bring us together because, you know, what is apparent is some very vibrant possibilities that the varied expertise around the table brought with. And my suggestion could be in some way that there might be a follow-up of those who could contribute to an initiative or initiatives to sort of put together a momentum from this meeting. So I would hand that over to you as our guide. Thank you.
There's a prize for the best acronym. Prize for the best acronym for the name of the group.
It's for everyone.
Swasta. Help.
Help.
Great. Ireland. Thank you.
Thank you all for your valuable and precious inputs. And really, it was a very informative and enlightening session for a layman like me. Now, let's move on to the concluding session. May I request on that?
Thank you. I must thank each one of you. It was very interesting to learn from your personal experience and wisdom. I picked up very interesting, significant phrase, virtuous cycle.
Circle.
Virtuous circle. So I think friends here on this table, in this round table discussion, I think we can ourselves make a virtuous circle. And that circle needs to expand. And to begin with, what we can do is, like each one of you are helping a lot of patients and their stories. So we heard today some of those positive stories. I think it will make a lot of impact if you can compile the experiences of your patients who have benefited directly from Ayurvedic treatment. So a narrative could be built. And we can use our social media platforms or other opportunities to think about and then have a kind of experience sharing session itself by people who have benefited and how they have benefited, what has been their experience. So that could be one way of narrative building. And second aspect is I was very happy to learn that Netherlands has made progress. So we can connect with people in Netherlands and think about
what are the steps?
What are the steps they have taken? And because Netherlands and Ireland both are part of European Union, so it should be technically it should be possible for us to replicate same thing here. So in terms of modality, in terms of regulatory procedure, in terms of approval process for registration for supplements or medicine, whatever Netherlands is doing, we can look at the prospect of doing same thing here. And based on the Netherlands template, we can start the conversation.
Yeah.
And as my dear friend Damian said, for traction of what among ourselves, we are convinced that it's evidence-based and several thousand years Ayurveda has helped us stay fit and in terms of its validity, in terms of its proven track record, we don't have any doubt. But for the people who are not familiar, it would make a lot of sense if we can do our narrative building in terms of the monetary benefit.
Absolutely.
Like whether it's a HSC, whether it's a government of Ireland, whether it is nursing homes or community healthcare or insurance, health insurance companies, if you can create a kind of narrative which will show that it's beneficial for them, each one of them, and also for the society to have this kind of inclusive healthcare system, rather than just allopathic system. If you also have this, then how will it impact your budget? How will it impact
a cost-benefit analysis of it? Yeah, for sure.
I haven't touched on the farmer aspect of it, like how to educate the farmers. One thing India is promoting is giving the simple herbs to people on a community basis. So if anybody wants to know more about it, Ayurveda Day, they created a little website, which is ayurvedaday.org.in, which have all the stories of Ayurveda, upcoming events, education for farmers, for students, whatever is happening, it's on the website.
Ayurvedaday.org.
Ayurvedaday.org.in.
We can have maybe some other session with, like even virtually or in person, one session with people who are like benefiting from, who are users of Ayurveda. And we can have a conversation with them and see what
We could try and get somebody from Department of Health or HSE to attend.
Yeah, we can have that because usually like once in 2 months we do have like question and answer sessions. So we have a couple of participants, like more than 100 participants online. So we can have that.
So we can have one small session with the beneficiaries, the users of Ayurveda.
That would be no problem. We could get.
That's an excellent, because what happens is people come on and it's chat line, all have problems. The Vaidjas are just answering, and it draws incredible knowledge from them and great insight to all viewing, and it's very impressive.
And are you based in Drogheda as well?
No, Dublin.
Nice.
Yeah, could I just add one very short thing, because this question and answers, for example, that the doctors do usually once a month or once every 2 months. There's one tonight every month. It provides for the receiver of the wisdom. I'm not going to use the word patient, the receiver of the wisdom. It gives us this opportunity to be part of this virtuous circle, because again, what the knowledge that are being shared with us through whether private consultations or these general consultations It actually is a circular flow of well-being, which we don't receive from the HSE.
Anybody interested could just log into Ayurveda.ie and sign up to become in communication with what is.
Yeah, I don't think we should underestimate the level of interest about Ayurveda. It's, I know you said, pot smoking and things like that, but I mean, as regards meditation, like our organization has taught over 50,000 people in our meditation. There's a huge receptiveness to meditation. And I find, I have to say within the last 3 years, there's been a huge receptiveness to Ayurvedic knowledge. Like we've had over 20,000 people in Ireland register for our 7-lesson Ayurveda course, which has lessons on Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the rhythms of life, 6 stages of disease, and a lesson on diet and digestion. And from that original course, then we've extended courses like the self-care course and diet and digestion course. And really, my feeling is I really, at this stage, need to take on someone that's dedicated to social media, because the more we get the message out there, there's no shortage of people interested in it. Absolutely no shortage of people interested in the thing, So we should push forward, knowing that if we can just get the message out in a bigger and bigger way, that there's a huge receptivity to it out there.
Even what Noel does is we have courses on arthritis, on hypothyroidism, that we have talks that we've given. And he promotes them online free, so that people get the knowledge free. Starts them on the journey.
No, I wasn't in any way.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yeah, but I did reality. We do a lot of stuff online, and people's perception, where people get their knowledge or their views from. So much of it is from social media, without an ounce of wisdom stuck in it. And the art is to find the way of giving that 20,000, because if you take incremental growth, if you have the same growth in 3 years, and if we look back, 10 years seems like yesterday. If we talk today about 2035, it seems distant myth.
I think President Modi set a goal of you mentioned
2047, by 2047.
2047.
India, Ayurveda will be in every hospital. So this is our 8th International Ayurveda Day, which started in 2016. So we have gone so far, and within 5, 6 years, 8 years, there's been huge progress, huge kind of in India, and I think everywhere. And like someone was saying, Ayurveda is yoga is everywhere. I think Ayurveda is also getting there. But by 47, I think,
we should have something here
Okay,
in
thank you all.
Ireland.
Let's continue our discussion over the lunch, networking lunch. Now we will thank our people who have joined by online. Wonderful participation. So as some of the action points from Ambassador's speech, let's keep this group active, like united by WhatsApp or by email group or some of the as a database in the embassy. We will keep this group, and also we will add more people, enrich this group by adding more people, like-minded people. And second, with more beneficiaries, we will have one more virtual meeting shortly with all of your cooperation. And then for building the narrative, so we will work together. We first build the narrative, and then we will use see opportunities to use our social media to promote this. And then for Netherlands, we will connect with Netherlands through embassy. Also, we will have some at the same time from your contact. We can get those inputs also. We will work together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.